Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Emily and I post a ton of bookish content, and if you are not new here, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a February wrap-up list as well as my March TBR, and March is my birthday month, so I decided I wanted to pick a few books that were going to be super enjoyable for me, hopefully, and I also decided to wear this cute little spring-esque outfit today so that I could feel more in the mood for the beginning of my spring TBR list. I'm in a good mood today. So I am going to be talking about a ton of books. I actually read 4 books in February, which I'm on a roll right now, you guys. I am currently, I think, reading, I have almost 8 books read this year so far, which is great. I read 25 books total last year, so the fact that I'm already almost at 10 just is crazy to me. But I do have a pretty large stack here I wanted to talk about today. So we are going to just get started with my February wrap up, and then we will head on into what I plan on reading in March. So I do not have the first book that I read in February in person at the moment. I lended it to my friend Claudia because it was in fact our February book club pick, which was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. And this was probably my favorite book thus far for the month. I will say I'm still reading the last book and I do really enjoy it so far, so that might become the next favorite. I don't know. But if you were not aware of what Ugly Love is about, it follows Tate and Miles. More so Tate, I feel like, but anyway, Tate is this young woman who decides she needs to move to the city to go to school to become a nurse. So she moves in with her brother Corbin, and his best friend slash neighbor is this guy named Miles. And you know, Miles is a pretty quiet dude, but he is insanely handsome to Tate, and she does take a liking to him kind of right away. The way they meet is actually really funny, and I'm not going to spoil too much in this video. But they basically come up with a deal that they're going to hook up with no strings attached. The only 2 rules that Miles has is don't ask about my past and do not expect a future. So those are the only 2 rules that they have, but obviously over time they both sort of gain this connection and start to have real love for each other, but he is just not able to be in a relationship. He does not want to fall in love because he has in fact seen the ugliest parts of love in the past, and we do actually see his point of view from the past about 6 years prior, explaining what he went through and why he's too afraid to fall in love with Tate. So I adored this book. There was definitely a lot of smut in this book and I loved it, and we also got quite a bit of character development. I felt like I really resonated with Tate. I feel like she, the way Colleen Hoover wrote that character was every girl just overthinking a situation with a guy, not knowing where they stand, and I thought it was just really relatable, funny, sad, had all the emotions. So I rated that one a 5 out of 5. Highly recommend, and I can't wait to discuss this with the book club in a couple days. Because it is February and it is love month, I did decide to go with mostly romances for this month. So the next one I did read was again another Colleen Hoover. Guys, I finally did it. I read It Ends With Us, and this is probably the saddest book I've ever read. I totally get why people cry. I cried at the end. Literally the last page I cried so much. But if you don't know what this book is about, I honestly went into this thinking it was not going to be as sad as it was. I was under the impression it was going to be obviously sad still, but more so a love triangle and her trying to decide who she loves more. No. That's not what this book is, okay? This book follows Lily, who again is a young woman who has moved to Boston, and she is wanting to open up her own florist shop. She does run into this guy named Ryle, and they immediately hit it off, but then they never see each other for a whole year or something like that. When she opens up her florist shop, this young girl named Alyssa decides she wants to work even though she's a part of a rich family, and it ends up that her brother is Ryle. Lily and Ryle hit it off and they end up being together for a while. However, there is a lot of drama with regards to their relationship. I'm not going to spoil too much in this book, but I think a lot of you know that this book does revolve around domestic abuse. So that is kind of the issue their relationship does have, and Lily actually grew up in a home like that too, so it's definitely a hard situation for her to be in. And alongside all of that, she runs... Oh, really? She does run into her first love, Atlas, and they actually fell in love when she was 15. They didn't officially date or anything, but she just had the strongest feelings for him. When she runs into him in Boston when they're older, it kind of like hits her the wrong way. She's already with Ryle. She doesn't know how she's feeling. And it's definitely not a love triangle at all. Like, she wants to work on her relationship with Ryle, but obviously Atlas is in the back of her head. He wants the best for her, and just a lot happens, okay? I really don't want to spoil any books here, but you will 100% feel for Lily and feel for her mom in this book, and you will definitely take a liking to a lot of characters, as well as really not like characters. So lots of character development and lots of feels in this book. I highly recommend you go pick this up. I think it's actually, on top of just being a super emotional romance, a really important book to read. So again, rated this 5 out of 5. I adore you, Colleen. You just do wonders. Okay, sorry if you guys can hear a little bit of outside. I opened my window for my cat. But the next book I read was actually a little bit of a break from romance, and as I hope all of you know, February is Black History Month. So I did decide to pick up a book about Black history, and specifically history in the UK, Ireland, and the United States. This author is from Ireland. She is an Irish Black woman, and I just thought that was really cool. So I went through the entire community and culture section at my work, and this is the one that stood out to me the most. This is called What White People Can Do Next, and yes, I feel like a lot of people cringe when it says the word white on a cover, but the way she explains whiteness and blackness in this book is actually just, it makes so much more sense if you read the book, and it stands out when you do have the actual color of race in the title. So I think that it was actually a really good decision on her part to make this the title. Also, what a cute cover. So cute. But yeah, as you can see, it's not that long, and yeah, I think it's like 150 pages, which was actually perfect for me because I find that for a lot of nonfiction books, it just tends to end up being something that I don't pick up as often. It kind of gets me in a reading slump, and I didn't want that to be the case with this because, well, one, I want to read a lot of books, but two, I wanted a book that would keep my attention so I could actually absorb all the information and really understand. So I think that this book was just so well done. She talks so much about like radical justice to the Black community all around the world and what we can do next as an entire community, not just as white people. She also talks about how she's not a huge fan of the term ally and capitalism and just things that we don't talk about all the time. I feel like we tend to talk about the trend of Black Lives Matter, but not the actual issues within that movement. So she does an excellent job of doing that, and I feel refreshed in my knowledge. So this one is really good. I did rate this one a 4 out of 5, but I honestly don't think that it's something I would feel comfortable, you know, explaining why I rated that. It was a really, really great book. It's not fair to rate something like this because every single person who decides to write about race, specifically if you are in the Black community or whatever race you are talking about, I just think that they all deserve to be heard, and you can't really put a true rating on that. So just, it was amazing, okay? Go pick up this book if you are feeling like you need a little refresher in the realm of Black history, because this definitely did help me a lot. And the last book that I am actually just reading now in February is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. So yeah, definitely not that far in yet, but so far I'm really enjoying this.
Guys, I am now 60% of the way through this book while I'm editing, and it is so good. It's unlike any other Colleen Hoover book that I've ever read, and unlike any other romance. So if you are someone who really likes romances that have to do with like more so family and dynamic between family, I feel like you would really like this one. The romance hasn't been like too smutty or anything, which is kind of nice. I'm sure that in the last half of the book it might pick up, but yeah, I'm really loving this. Like, I already know it's going to be a 5 out of 5 for me. So yeah, if you haven't read this one because it just came out, I would definitely pick it up.
And I do think this could be a #1 for the month as opposed to Ugly Love. I don't know yet though. We will have to see. If you are not aware of what this book is about, it is about a mother named Kenna who was actually just in prison for the last 5 years, and now she is being released, and her main goal is to go back to the town she was from and reunite with her 4-year-old daughter. Her main goal is to just like have that connection with her again and hopefully just grow up to be the best mom she can be and have her daughter grow up to be the best daughter she could be. When she does get back to the town that she's from though, obviously a lot of people are worried and a little on edge because she did just come back from prison, and it doesn't really state in the synopsis why she was there. So I'm sure we're going to end up finding out what happened. But yeah, most people don't trust her. However, the one person who does is actually someone who's still connected to her daughter, and that is a local bar owner named Ledger. So I'm not entirely sure what happens obviously yet, but Ledger and Kenna do spark up a relationship, and I guess there's a lot of risk and pressure with that. So I don't know. I think he's going to help her kind of gain that connection back with her daughter, but also fall in love with her. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. But I'm really excited, and I got my hands on this book like the day it came out. I went to my work, didn't even work that day, went to my work and picked it up. And I'm so excited to finish it and actually give you guys my full review next month. But yeah, I wish I could give you guys a review now. I just wanted to get this video done for you guys, and I will talk about it more in my rating, even though it's technically a part of my February wrap up, and I will be finishing it in February because right now it's actually like a few days before February ends. Anyway, yeah, love it. And now we can finally move on to the books that I am hoping to read in March. So the one book that I'm not sure what we're reading yet is my book club pick. We are still deciding on that, but so far No Exit by Taylor Adams is winning the vote, so that could be the next one. If you're not sure what it is, I will link it down below. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know if I'm reading it next month, so it might not be worth talking about yet. But I do have 3 other books, and they're pretty ambitious. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them, plus the book club read, because you'll see. You'll see. So the first book for sure I want to read in March is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I've had this book for over 2 years, and I've just always been intrigued by this story. Like, I don't even know what it's fully about. All I know is that it's about a very simple love story where the husband and wife have a lot of secrets, and they get really bored in their relationship, and they decide that they're going to murder together. That's kind of all I know, and I'm really down for a thriller right now, so I can't wait to read this. Like you can see, it's kind of a thick one, and the next 2 are also very thick books, which is why I said it's ambitious. But yeah, I really can't wait to give you guys my review on this. It's been long overdue. And I'm going back to my roots with a thriller. And the next 2 books are actually fantasies. I don't tend to read that much fantasy, but I'm getting more and more into it. So the first one I actually got from my boyfriend for Christmas, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Again, been wanting to read this for so long. I did actually have a plan to read it in January, but then I didn't. I don't have a reason, I just didn't. But if you are not aware of what this story is about, it is basically about this girl named Addie LaRue. She's from like centuries and centuries ago, and she makes a deal with like I don't even know what it is, like a dark god or something like that. And the deal they make is that she is able to live forever, but she cannot be remembered by anyone she meets. So basically, she goes through centuries and centuries of living, and every time she meets someone, she has to re-meet them. They never remember her. It sounds very tragic, and it is, again, a very long, lengthy book, but I'm excited. I've heard this is going to become a potential movie, and I have a feeling it's going to be a memorable one. It might be a little bit of a slow burn for me, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be worth it. It seems very poetic. I've heard the writing is honestly just beautiful, so I'm going to give you guys my review next month, but yeah, I'm really excited to finally read this. The Invisible Life, I don't know. And the last book that I plan on reading, I don't know why I want to cry right now, because I'm kind of overwhelmed by my TBR this month. I don't think I'm going to end up reading all these books, but I hope so. And the reason being is because of this last book. It's A Court of Mist and Fury. I do really want to read this book. Like, I think that this one I'm wanting more so to read than The Invisible Life. I don't know, because I've started the series, but guys, this book is so freaking long and the writing is so small. Like, this book has 630 pages and I want to read it so bad that, yeah, I might just have to like not have a single life, no life in March and just read this, because I really do want to get through the series. If you're not aware of what this fantasy series is about, we follow Fair and Tamlin and Rhysand and different mortals and fairies that are basically just going through war and falling in love, and I don't really know what else to say. I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't exactly know the entire story yet because I've only read the first one, but I can actually read the back of this one. I feel like that would be fun. I feel weird because it kind of spoils stuff from the first book. I won't say the first part. But it says, Fair has rescued her lover Tamlin from the sadistic fairy queen. Fair cannot forget the destruction she wrought to save her beloved, nor the bargain she made with Rhysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court. And as Fair is drawn ever deeper into Rhysand's world, she senses a dark pain in his heart that echoes her own. For good or ill, Fair must embrace the changes within her. War is looming, and only the full might of her new powers can save the people she loves. There's a war coming, and they need Fair on her game. That's all I know. But I'm really excited because I've also heard that this is everyone's favorite book from the series. Albeit there are 2 more books coming, I've heard, but this is everyone's favorite right now. So I cannot wait to read this. I loved the first book. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 just because I was getting used to fantasy, but I think now, even just reading that, I like totally understood what was going on, so I think this one is going to be just 5 out of 5. Hopefully, we can hope. Alright guys, I'm recording this clearly at the wrong time. It's like 5 o'clock I think right now. I just checked my phone and that was actually like perfect. So it's 5 o'clock right now and the lighting is getting a little weird, so we're gonna end it off. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope I get to all of those books in March, but again, if not, there's always next month and the month after and the month after. I really like the reading zone I'm in right now. Like, if I can read 2 or 3 books every single month, that's kind of going to be the goal for me. I don't see why I won't be able to, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching my February wrap up and March TBR. I will see you guys in my next one. Do not forget to subscribe if you want to see more from me, and like this video if you have either read these books or want to read these books. Alright guys, see you in the next one.